So still very new. I got cut off. Somebody called me. I'm doing it straight off the phone. But I was previously doing an introduction. So if it doesn't merge, I have to go and start over. But I'm hoping that it does. Reach out to somebody that can help me merge 2 different clips together. I know you can do it. But like I was saying, I played basketball in Chicago 2 years. God blessed me with the ability to have teammates from all different backgrounds that I'm close with. So that allowed me a lot of insight on perspectives that were different from mine. So after that, I ended up leaving that school, and I will eventually talk about these things as well. But I ended up leaving that school, which was a great situation for my grades. I majored in psychology at the time. It was a great environment. You know, even the football players, just everybody was like a big family there. Smaller school. But I left there because I wasn't playing as much as I wanted to my first 2 years. I was the best player, well, one of the best players. Shout out Maru. I was one of the best players on my basketball team in high school, and then I just felt like I was the man. Like, you know, I wanted to play. That was just the competitor in me. And I bust my ass during the summer. You know what I mean? So to get an opportunity to play, so I felt raw. Long story short, I ended up leaving and going to school in North Miami. God bless me once again. So I go from living outside of Chicago to now living in North Miami, another major city. So once again, I'm seeing different vibes. I'm seeing different backgrounds. I'm seeing people move differently. I'm seeing people enjoy life differently. And once again, blessed, I met some great teammates. Tristan, Negus, Big Goose, Dave, Suave, Wayne, Georgie, who was Albanian or something like that. So it's all been a blessing. So I'm just really spilling my stories to give you a background. Like, I'm 25, but I've been in a lot of different atmospheres, and I have a lot of great friends because of through basketball and travel. So fast forward from now, I was in Miami for a year, decided I don't want to play ball no more, I want to do something else. So I came back home and said I'm gonna go to Florida State, finish up my degree. Started working at Target. That was cool, but that's when I started to realize I'm just the type of person, I'm a hard worker, I'm a hustler, I'm a grinder, but I like to do things on my own terms. And if the leadership's, like if leadership is trying to direct me to do a fairly simple task that I can, you know, that I can do myself, like I can watch over myself. Like, I don't need you micromanaging me on how to stock shelves. No, just tell me that you gotta have the sales shop by this time. So ended up leaving Target. That wasn't for me. That's when I first understood, like, I don't like people standing over me, telling me to do little mundane tasks with no real impact, just because they have a title of manager. Now, I'm not saying that working a job is not cool. It is. I'm just saying, for me, at that time, I felt the disconnect. Like, I felt like, okay, yeah, I still gotta grind and get this money. I'm young, I wanna save, you know what I mean? But I ain't too much feeling this. Like, if there's something better out there, then I'm gonna go pursue it. So I ended up leaving there and getting a job at Trulieve. Horrible work environment. I'm not gonna say anything about that though, 'cause I'm not here to do that. But shortly thereafter, so now putting things in the scope, now I'm 22 and I start trading. So when I first learned about investing in shares, bro, my whole mindset changed. Like, once you understand how the financial markets work, you will understand why our country is the way it is, and you will understand how to benefit from the ebbs and flows of our country. We are a boom and bust economy. That is why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. When I first started trading, I started to understand these concepts better. So put that in the scope. So just a quick little derailment. Had to get it off my chest. But so started trading when I was 21, and I've been trading for the last 4 years. On and off, sometimes when I had a lot of money, like I said, I'm working I'm working like an average class job. I think I truly was getting paid like $1,000 every 2 weeks, $1,200 every 2 weeks. And so at that time I was living with my parents. Now, got introduced to stocks, right? So that bred to this, man, I need more disposable income. Yeah, I want to invest in stocks, but with what money? So I decided to keep staying with my parents. That allowed me to be able to begin investing. At this point, I'm still flat or running in the red. I'm not really making no money. I'm just learning. You know what I'm saying? So start dealing and diving with the stocks, right? Okay. So then I'm like, man, you know what? I don't want to stay with my parents no more. Now I'm gonna speak on this real quick. It's okay to have your own, but it's also okay to stay with your parents or a loved one if you have a plan, or to stay with your roommates if you have a plan. Now, if you just stand, with your folks and you still going to the club and partying and shit, not like coming up on this time span, because you're not gonna be able to stay under your parents' roof for your whole life. I mean, some parents have that collective upbringing, which is great. My parents do. But I'm saying, like, when you have kids and when you get older, I mean, eventually you just gonna want your own plot. Like, you know what I mean? Your own environment, your own piece of the land, and so your family can come visit you. So it's cool to stay with your parent, but have a plan. Have an exit plan, or just know why you're staying there. What you're staying there for is to get more money, save more money, to buy more assets. So stay with my parents, right? But me, being young, 22, I said, you know what? I want my own apartment. I want my own apartment in bed. So I go grab an apartment. At this point, I'm probably able to save $1,000 a month because I have a Challenger that was paid off, that my parents paid for. So I'm gonna be transparent on all of this. I didn't start as far back as some people are. But I didn't start as far as ahead as some people think neither. So the blessing that I had was that my parents were smart enough with their money and just being good parents. You know what I mean? Like they were able to purchase me a car in high school. I had a Dodge Challenger since I was 16 in high school. So that's paid off. So now the only bills I'm paying is really nothing, right? So I meet this guy my dad introduced me to about stocks, and that's when I realized that it's nothing to make this money and save it. It's nothing to spend this money on high grade clothes and video games and shoes. You know why? Because the time you buy it, it loses value. But what's P is, you know what I'm saying, making more money, using your money to make more money. That feeling, bro, is literally like a drug. Like when you get to passively making money off your money while you sleep, I promise you'll never go back. All you're gonna try to do is try to scale that more. Then you have more freedom. You don't have to necessarily leave your job, but you have more freedom now. So now if said job is no longer panning out, you have the flexibility to gracefully leave that job. Not saying quit and think you better than everybody and and all that. Nah, I'm saying if you want to switch it up and pursue an opportunity, the money that your money is making on top of the job that you're working will allow you to have enough savings and disposable income to pay your bills for 2, 3, 4 months. See, a lot of times that's our problem. That's our problem as a lower class people. I'm not even gonna say blacks. I'm just gonna say people who don't have a financially savvy mindset. You know what I'm saying? So oftentimes we are stuck in these types of jobs and stuck in these type of opportunities that make us unhappy because we can't leave. We can't. So you have to dread going to work. You have to put up with that boss that is unhappy in their own life. You have to. You don't have a choice. So back to my storyline. So I end up staying with my parents. So I was staying with my parents at this point. One of my checks is paying all my bills. I had to pay my own car insurance, my own cell phone. One of my checks paying on bills. So my free cash flow every month, I was able to save $1,000. So $1,000. Now listen to how I start unraveling this story. It's a lot of y'all out there, and this is my goal for this year, is to be more direct. There's a lot of y'all out there be seeing what I be doing who know me and who know my parents, and just automatically assume, oh, that's how he did it, is because his parents probably helped him. My parents set me up. You hear what I'm saying? They set me up, but the amount of money I had to start was minimal. I did this through research, through studying myself, through taking risks. A lot of y'all out here have way more disposable cash than I have right now, than I ever had, and you're not doing nothing with it. And me, this year here and going forward, I'm no longer sitting back and just letting motherfuckers not reach their potential. Nah, or you just ain't gonna watch what I'm saying. But if you watching what I'm saying and follow me, yeah, I'm gonna start pulling at that heart a little bit, because it's time out for that shit. Really, I'm really being honest. And because I wish somebody would have been talking to me like this 2 years ago. 2 years ago. But I'm grateful where I am, but I'm gonna be that guy for y'all. And people can follow me or not. Like I said, I'm doing this for fun. And a lot of my friends who know me know it be times I'm gonna talk your ear off, just like how I'm talking now for 2 hours. We gonna leave there motivated with hair standing up on our arms. That's just one of the gifts God has granted to me. So I'm just so grateful for life that I have to expand on that skill and just see what makes of it. We only live once, right? Okay, so cool. So back to my story, right? So I'm staying with my parents, I'm saving $1,000 a month. I started investing in the stock market. And at this point, I'm just buying everything. I'm buying everything that sound cool, everything that look good. So I go back to the guy that I met about stocks, and this guy was an older dude, wasn't in the Robinhood, none of that really, but he had been investing for years. So I sent him a screenshot of my portfolio on Robinhood. I think I'm doing shit, I got some weed stocks, which weed went up during that time, but I have a bunch of like fun stocks, like I'm trying to think of something I had in my portfolio back then. Just a bunch of like Nike. Didn't even have Nike. I just had a bunch of stuff that I read online that sounded cool, because I was thinking though. But I'm gonna tell you this: always sit down and think about a strategy. So when I was coming into the investing game, I was thinking like, okay, I don't have much capital, right? So I need to find the next new thing. So I'm putting all my money on growth stocks. And throughout me talking, I'm not gonna dummy down none of the vocab that or the type of verbiage that you're gonna hear when you start having these type of conversations with people, right? So cool. Okay, so growth stocks. A growth stock is a stock that has like a new idea or a new concept really that hasn't really portrayed out. It really has a high room for growth. But growth stocks tend to be more risky. So growth stocks, for example, now would be like a stock called ChargePoint, which is basically they create a charging network for all these cars that are no longer running on gas. Cool. So I had a lot of growth stocks. I sent it to the guy, and he was like, "Your portfolio is trash." I said, "What? Portfolio is trash?" He was like, when you first starting off, you have to prioritize buying the blue chips low, buying the blue chips at a bargain. Anybody who just now getting into the stock market, listen to what I'm saying. When you first start, buy the blue chips at a bargain. This is for buying shares. So blue chip stocks, right? Blue chip stocks are the most like prominent stocks, like the Apples, like the Microsoft, just the stuff that's owned by the masses. Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, kinda, but it's kind of growth. And you can go Boeing, which is the company that makes planes. There's only 2 companies in our country that really make planes at a volume. Disney used to be a blue chip somewhat. Facebook, I guess you consider a blue chip. So blue chip stocks are kind of like value stocks too. They kind of, but I ain't gonna get there yet. Let's just say blue chip stocks, right? So invest in the blue chips at a bargain when you first start. Cool. So I scratched my whole portfolio, right? And at this time, Microsoft was at $145. This was 2 years ago. Microsoft is now valued, each share is worth $350. So if I just would have bought 10 shares for $1,000, right? If I would have bought 10 shares for $1,000, well, I said they were each 140, so let's just say if I would have bought 10 shares for $1,500. Now today, my money would have doubled. Didn't work at all for it. Now, some people be like, wow, you only made $1,500 in 3 years. Yeah, that's off one investment. People are going out here and spending $15 on one designer outfit that you're going to wear once, post it on Instagram and never wear again. The rich is putting $1,500 into blue chip stocks at a bargain and sitting back on their ass, and then 2 years later their money doubles. And that's the difference. So that's the lesson I learned early, and once that happened, that sparked every entrepreneur bone in my body. Now to this day, I didn't do it. I started off doing it but wasn't consistent. I was too young. I still had one foot in the door, want to be cool and buy clothes to impress women and just for the clout. Then I had one door on, I really want to be, one of the ones, a real investor, like stocks. That's the shit you hear about in the community, like, ooh, stocks pay money and all this other shit. But I wasn't consistent. I wasn't dispatched. I hadn't yet made my mind up. All right, cool. So I didn't. And exactly what he said was true. All the blue chip stocks going up. Okay, cool. That's my story on how I got introduced to shares, long-term investing, right? Then a close friend of mine, Maru Bryant, shout out him. He said, yo, Jay Walt, I got some homies in Atlanta, Georgia who be trading stocks. I said, what the fuck is trading, bro? I said, Forex? I never once believed in Forex. Not saying Forex isn't gonna work, but to me, at that time, Forex was introduced to me, probably 2019, 2018, 2020. A lot of people were doing it just to get like not say a pyramid scheme, but they were more so getting paid, not off investing, but they were more so getting paid off signing you up underneath their umbrella. Then whoever you sign up, you get their money, but y'all both still under their umbrella. So anything with a business model like that, I already knew it's more so about sales. Now, but not to say you can't make money in Forex. Forex is not real, and it's not a real form of investing. It is, but the community that introduced me to it, that was their main focus. It wasn't about charting or nothing. It was about take pips from somebody else, sign up under mine. No, I ain't never been that type of guy. I have to understand what's going on, and I really want to be the boss of my own. Like, I ain't gonna say I want to have to call the shot, but I want to understand what's going on. Like, I want to take part in making the decisions on the money that I'm going to be taking risks with, right? So he said you should get into trading. Shout out these guys right here. Y'all boys changed my life. Yeah. Y'all boys did change my life. Shout out to my homie Bryce. I want to say he live in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Very intelligent, driven, young guy that's younger than me, but had huge ideas and huge drive. He's definitely gonna be one of those ones. Bryce ended up introducing me to one of his close homeboys named Cap. Real name Josh. I wish I knew both y'all Instagrams, so I'll tag y'all. in the chat down below or whatever, because these guys are on it. So they started introducing me to trading. Now, they were young traders too. You know, they introduced me to it, right? Okay, cool. So then I started doing my own research, and I get into the market. I took all of the money that I had out of the blue chip shares that the older guy had told me to do. So this guy was like probably 59, but he owned 4 or 5 houses in South Carolina. He lived in Tallahassee. He had properties everywhere. He showed me his portfolio. He had like 17 million. And I think he started when he was 35, 17 million, 20 years later. Got 3 or 4 houses in South Carolina. So he's doing it, right? Whatever. So me being young, I want fast money. I'm seeing jokers go off on the market. So I started trading. Quite naturally, when I first started, boom and bust. Right? So, but I'm learning. See, something about me back then, I already had a understanding that if something has a high like potential reward, like if there are possibly a lot of fruits that can come out of this journey, then when I first start off, for me, it's not really about being profitable. I really just want to get in to learn. Like I want to learn. So when I was losing, so I started off, I was making bread at a time, then I started losing, get my head cracked. So this is probably in year 1. So, but look, I stayed at it. When I used to get my head cracked, I used to look at a chart, look at the stock market Monday through Friday. I'm looking at it from 7 a.m. to probably 6 p.m. No cap. Checking it every day, checking it while I'm driving, checking it while I'm doing anything. Obsessed, just took over my whole life. Then on Saturday, I'm still looking at the charts, charting up, getting like just so ready for Monday to come. Fell in love with it, right? So I kept going. Now we're coming up on year 2. I'm starting to see success. I'm starting to see that I really have a knack for the main principles that you got to understand when trading. Shout out to Aristotle Investments as well. That's another guy who I seen when he was kind of at his peak, but now he's just a shot to a whole nother level. Lawrence as well. I think he's a part of the Black Panther group. And these are all guys that they were probably in year 2 of trading when I first started, and they're doing exceptionally well. Now I'm gonna tell you now. I'll keep going with the whole story, right? So Bryson Cat introduced me to trading. I'm studying by myself. So in year 2, I'm having success. So what do? I start a Discord chat, and some people who may watch this, they may remember, or you might have been members in the chat. So I started teaching people, right? Teaching people and calling out plays. So me, I've always been the type of guy that's like super nice, too nice, don't really care about the money. It's more about the community and just for me, I always enjoyed being the person that led somebody to the water. Or I said, you know what, it's bread down there. If you go down there, you can get it. So that was more of a thrill for me, right? So I'm charging all the members $25 a month, right? Okay, cool. At the peak, and I probably ran that for like 5 months, right? But I'm still a novice myself, but I'm good. I'm a rookie. Probably not rookie of the year. Probably not like Ja rookie of the year or Zion, but more so like who's a good solid rookie that like average 10 to 12. You know what I mean? Like solid rookie. Like got potential. Probably top, but just still making rookie mistakes. Still turning the ball over XYZ. I like to refer a lot of stuff back to sports because, like I said, I have a basketball background. That's why I wanted to, start with that, because I have a basketball background. I played college sports, played sports my whole life. So that's how I better see things that happen in the world, right? Okay, cool. So I had a Discord chat, right? So I did that about 5 months. And man, once again, thank God above. It was such a good feeling to be of value to my peers for something positive. Like, and my best friend, Twan Jackson, I'm gonna put your Instagram here too. It's funny because it took him the longest to start chatting with me, but either way, it's just a beautiful story, right? Either way, but Twan Jackson, right? He know exactly. It was a random like Tuesday, and a lot of people in the chat lived in my area. So I told him, anybody just pull up to the crib. So at this time, I had my own place. I had left my people house. I had my own place, splitting it with my best friend Twan Jackson. I'm telling you about now. Splitting it with him, I think it was $1,400 a month for a 4-bedroom, 4 baths. Shout out to Avenue 29, Delory. Great fucking prices. But we had like a bachelor suite, swear. Either way, but, and I'm gonna explain this because I still haven't yet explained how I got into the moving out of my parents' house, because that's also important. Also very important. So my most fondest memory during that time was I had like 4 or 5 of my friends who in the chat just pull up on me to the crib, and we did they pulled up around 8:30, and we did a little chart work, right? And then by 10 o'clock, everybody in that room had made at least $100, based upon I ain't even gonna say leadership, because I ain't trying to be a joker taking all the clout, bro. No, that's not what I'm saying. But it's just the fact that I guided them to this type of knowledge, and I was able to help them make money. Shout out to Ian Dunlap as well, another pillar in the investor community. And the reason, and remember when I first started this video, I'm not here to get clout. I'm not here to really make no money. I'm here to be a public library. I keep looking up because it's a big ass dog over here, and this man is way too far away from this dog for my liking. Everybody know me. I do not like dogs, so that dog off leash. So if I be looking up or the video cut, that's what's going on. So, now I can't even focus. Look at him. Oh Lord. He talking about, come here. Dog running straight over here. Oh Lord. Thank you. Get this, please get this dog. I couldn't even focus on that damn thing. I lost my whole train of thought, boy. But anybody want, I'm drinking juiced apples and watermelon. Shout out to my homie Meats. Also tag his Instagram. But like I'm saying, I just want to be a public library. And with that being said, a lot of this information I thought and processed myself, but I'm going to shout out everybody, every single person. I'm going to shout out the people that sparked my interest and further along my knowledge. So all these names that I say and any books that I say, bro, tap in, bro. Because these people are one of those ones. And I know they're one of those ones because I fleshed out through so much content and books to where the content that I did take information from was highly valuable, right? So Ian Dunlap, the master investor. That's his name on Instagram. But either way, right? So trading, going well. I had, at the height of it, I had 35 members in my chat and charging $20-$25 a month. So for about 3 to 4 months, I was making $500 a month just off providing others with the knowledge that I had learned. Simple as that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I charged $25 and it was only 35 people, but I was able to generate $500 a month. So this is a huge lesson point right here where it really changed my mindset too. If you put the time in and learn a skill or trait, you can make money off that skill or trait, but you also can make money off teaching it to others. Once you get that mindset of serving others, everything just expands. So I'm making $500 a month off that. at that time trading, I was getting lucky. I'm gonna be dead ass honest. I was getting lucky because I know how I should have been governing myself now. I was good. I'm a good trader for sure. But anybody who's been trading for a while know this shit goes far beyond just being able to call trades. You have to have maturity. You have to know how to manage your money. You have to know how to have risk management. You have to know when it's time to dial it back. You have to know when you're emotional. These are high level like businessmen attributes and type of discernment that takes time to groom, because college don't teach us this. Public schools don't teach you how to think like this. They don't. They don't care to. All right. So had a chat going, boom, boom, boom. Right. All right, bam. So that was the whole trading side. Now I'm gonna take a brief pause because when I started trading, I also did another thing. So remember when I told y'all I moved out of my parents' crib, right? So and I had a little nest egg, hence like that's what I started my trading lot with. It was about those like 1,700 I had saved over a span of like 2 or 3 weeks. And another reason why I wasn't able to save money, and I want to speak on it, is because I was smoking it up. I was smoking weed all the time. And it was expensive. At a certain point, I was probably spending $500 to $900 a month on it. And the reason why I'm saying is because I know other people out there doing it, and I'm being transparent. I'm trying to tell you, bro, stop it. I ain't saying you can't smoke, but bro, listen, bro, stop it. You know what I'm saying? It's just no, bro. Like you're not gonna be out here busting your ass, struggling every day just to be high in the same place. Fuck no. So if you're doing that shit, no, come up. All right, bet. So, I moved out of my parents' house. I got my own apartment, me and my friend, right? But I'm like, damn, I don't have as much disposable income as I used to have. Cause now I'm paying $700 a month plus lights. So it's like $900. Like now I can't really trade how I want, right? So boom. So I started to think, how can I make more money? And this is what you have to do, bro. You have to spend time to reflect and think. Thinking, like just sitting down and just literally pondering and writing thoughts and strategies. This is how you make money. This is how you realize the opportunities around you. You have to think. Sit down and think about what resources. Think about your situation. Not, get on YouTube and learn knowledge, but don't try to just copy and paste another nigga sauce because it may not work for you. The reason why some niggas blow up is because they were able to align with the resources they had in their situation. So you gotta sit down and think, with the resources that I do have, what risk can I take that make logical sense? Boom. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get into the Airbnb game, right? So I talked to my close friend. I'm like, yo, and of course he wanted to do it because he's a money making joker too. Shout out to him, right? So I'm like, yo, I'm thinking about putting a crib on Airbnb. How you feel about that? He like, heck yeah, bro, let's do it. So anybody that don't know the Tallahassee area, bro, during football season, Florida State football, shout out Noahs. Go Noahs. Y'all niggas make me money. Even though I'm a Gator, go Noahs. Go Noahs, right? So from August to about December, bro, Tally is flooded with tourists coming to Florida State campus. You got parents, you got alumni, you got people just like those Florida State Seminoles. Oh, we started renting out the crib so much that once we was able to pay it, like cover our both ends, so like once we generated $1,500, we would go back to staying there. So he would go stay with his mom, I would go stay with my mom. So somebody may rent the crib for 4 days. So we literally are crazy. So we literally would keep all our clothes in like 3 or 4 bins. Like even though we're staying there, keep all our clothes in 3 or 4 bins. We would literally go grocery shopping, but only for like a week at a time. So the reason why we did that is because like we had jokers booking that, bro. We would have a joker book the apartment from Thursday to Sunday, so we gotta be out, clean it. So we'll probably have to clean it on that Wednesday night, flip it, go buy toiletries, little stuff to make the guests feel good, washing powder, all that, blah blah blah, right? They come in Thursday, we have to be gone till Sunday. Get back Sunday, clean up behind them, right? Boom. Then we back staying there for about 2, 3, 4 days. Ring a ding ding, Airbnb going off. Next weekend, somebody want to stay from Friday to Monday. So you started to get the gist. Like we had to always be ready to pick up and go. Had to always be clean, like ready just to be able to, on the drop of a dime, have this place fully clean, and in the span of 2 hours, 3 hours. And we've always held a 5-star rating. Shout out to my boy Tom. For real, because like it was times where we worked all night. Both of us worked a night shift, and we up 12, 14 hours, barely, falling asleep, like stumbling, tripping over our words, just to get the place clean. But these are the type of sacrifice I'm talking about you gotta make. And this is why I don't be trying to hear no fucking excuses, bro. And I'm sorry to cuss, I want to be professional, but I also gonna be authentic. This is why the reason why I don't want to hear no fucking excuses, bro. All right. Because we made that shit work, bro. And at the end of the day, it ain't about the age, it ain't about the money you got, it's about how creative can you get. And that's the one thing God gave us that makes us different from these damn squirrels in these trees and that damn big ass dog behind me. He gave us imagination and creativity. We can achieve anything we can imagine because that vision, that imagination was given to you. You ain't just think about that shit yourself. That idea was given to you by God, the universe, the cues that you've seen around you. So you got to act on it, right? Boom, back to the story. So we started renting out the crib. Or whatever, and doing well. Doing super well. Almost doing so well. I'm like, damn, this gonna be my other business for sure. So at that point, the chat going good. I'm making $500 a month passively. The Airbnb after me and Chon split, and once we get done with all the cleaning supplies we had to buy and all the other shit, I'm probably passively generating like $600 a month off that. So I'm passively generating $1,100 a month. Now, going back to the Airbnb thing, we did this in an apartment, folks. An apartment. Now, granted, the rules have changed for Airbnb to a small degree. Sometimes a lot of these apartment complexes have gotten privy, and they'll put in the clause of your lease that you can't sublease it, as in do short-term rentals like Airbnb. That's why you gotta own the house, but that's another topic. I don't want to give everything away today. The video getting long. But so we started renting the crib out. So now I'm making $600 a month passively. And this is what I want to say about making sacrifices. If you wanna, especially for when you're first starting off, everybody wants to just buy a Airbnb property and like don't be staying there. So it only serves one use. So if let's say your rent on the apartment $1,200, the light's $200, so $1,400. So you have to cover $1,400 no matter what, and you have to cover the rent or mortgage for wherever you living at, unless you live with your parents, right? Boom. But this is how you come up as a young person, bro. Share, bro. Share what you have. Share your apartment with other people that's coming in the area. Share it with them. They're gonna pay you. Share it with them. And on the flip side, you're gonna have passive income coming in. Now, granted, there are a lot of moving parts to setting up Airbnb, of course. Like that's with anything. And I'll break all that down in another video as I feel like it or whatever I want to talk about. I'll make sure to do a segment on that for sure, because I've done that, right? Okay, cool. So that takes place. Then I'm like, man, I'm steadily falling in love with assets. So then I start looking into getting into Turo. So probably a year after that saga, and then at this point, my trading chat had started to fall down. Just because even if I got somebody in, but the whole nature of trading that you're gonna win and lose. And we all young, we all probably trading with money that we shouldn't be. So we all, risking it to the limit. And some days you had drawdowns, some days you lose. I ain't gonna cap. So if you can't handle that, you can't trade. You really can't invest nothing. You really can't take no risk if you can't handle being down some, you know what I'm saying? So, but shit, I couldn't either, you know what I mean? So all of us, the whole chat ended up falling apart. People weren't really coming back. And then I had went on a losing spell, bro. Like, to this video I'm talking to you, I could tell you about trading because I'm knowledgeable, but I still haven't just exploded with it yet, even though I know I am. And we're going to keep talking about it. Like, this is part of the reason, like, we're going to keep talking about this a lot. We're going to build these bonds. And I'm not going to cut nothing out because I want you to get the full picture, the full scope of, like, the type of life situations and how I tweaked and turned them and kept pushing forward, right? But a little brief overview, that's why I started this trucking business, because I want to make more disposable income so I can invest more freely. And to this moment right now, I'm currently not trading. Why? Because I'm running three businesses. And what I learned about running a business is, even though you're making money, you have to remember that you always have to protect the product. You always have to nourish and fine-tune the product. For example, I used to have an apartment. Right now, I purchased my own crib when I was 23 in 2021, September. Right, so that was right after the COVID market. Once again, just being a student of the game and divine intervention, boom and bust economy, right? So after COVID, the housing market was in a bust cycle. Bust, meaning like the price of everything was so cheap. So I ended up buying my crib for $115. To this day, right now, my crib is valued at $160. So I'm up $50,000 on that in 2 years, right? But that's long money. I'm just holding it. You know what I mean? But it's just, and then I'm gonna break down a whole video on how I got my first crib with a credit score of 650, and I only had $3,000 to my name, no cap. That's it. I'll make a segment on how to do that. For anybody that wants to own houses, the government has a lot of programs that will help you own a house. It's no excuse. The credit is the biggest barrier, as well as the job verification. You have to be working a stable job, the same job for 2 years, or have employment for an extended period of time. That's how the bank will know they can trust you to give you a housing loan. But that's gonna be another segment too. So this is what you got to look forward to: Airbnb breakdown and my experience with one of the cheapest ways to purchase real estate that worked for me in Florida. And I did this when I was 23. Working at Truly. So my yearly salary was under $30,000 a year. So for all of y'all that be sitting out here, you know what I mean, looking around, bro, like, no excuse, bro. Did it at 23, 640 credit score, only had 3 bands. And I was annually making, well, that's just from the job. See why you got to have assets, right? But I was annually making only $30,000. So boom, right? Okay. So I don't know how I got on ran by the crib, right? Whatever. So that's another one of my plays. Oh yeah, because I said I'm not trading right now because I currently run 3 businesses. And if at any moment something breaks, I have to be able to replace it on demand or on the spot. One, to keep my customer happy. Like if that truck breaks, oh my God. Like we've been running this truck for 3 weeks and I already had to pay $700 in maintenance. Well, me and my team. That's another point I'm gonna talk about. Start with a team. There is no I in team. Together, we achieve more. Together, we achieve now. Remember that. I have a statement about that. Right, so yeah, so I'm gonna keep going. So I have 3 bands I'm running, right? Between the house and my air conditioner recently is having issues. I'm gonna have to replace. That's 5 bands, and the truck, and then I have a Turo car, 3. So I'm getting to the store, the Turo, right? So my trading starts to fall off. We're gonna go back, right? So my trading starts to fall off. This is the chat. The chat starts to fall off. I'm no longer making 500 money off that, right? Then I start getting a big head with trading, and I start leveraging too much. This is just an overview of my story. This is introducing my story, but from here on out, the videos will be more focused and more orderly. They'll be more about one topic. But I'm just showing you my scope of the shit I've been through in the last 3 to 5 years. All right, so trading, getting a big head over leveraging. So at one point in my trading, shout out Cap that really put me on to this little strategy, but I ain't gonna tell it because he told me not to. But I had 15 days of green, meaning for 15 days I made $200 or more trading. So I think I started off with 1,000. I had took that 1,000 to like 3 racks, right? Then I get the big head, I get cocky, I get impatient, I get bored with success. Shout out Coach Marks. I get bored with success. I want to rush it. I'm comparing myself to the people on Instagram who have way more money than me. I want to make what they make. I'm just as good as them. Trying to bring in that competitive basketball shit that came back to bite me. It's a double-edged sword, right? So I ended up putting like two bands on one trade, and I ended up losing, I think, like 1,900 in one day. And that fucked me, because I was accustomed to trading in like $400 lots. So at most, like, by the time I've cut, like I'm down 200, 250. Even I got to the point when I was okay with losing $400 in one day, because I'm making it type shit, right? But buddy, when I lost that 19, sick. And around this same time, my chat had decreased, so I'm no longer making those 500 a month, right? Airbnb doing straight, so and plus it's just I'm giving back the house money. I ain't in a hole, but emotionally I'm damaged, right? So boom, and I'm gonna have a whole story about that trading shit, because anybody want to know, like, this gonna be a long-winded relationship storyline, right? And I'll be explaining. All right, cool. So stop trading for a while. Eventually got into Turo. Some of y'all who see me on Turo or booked the car before have a 2021 Kia K5 GT line. I had put that on there for about $80 a day. And when I first got the car, I didn't make any payments for the first 4 months. That's how often the car was. That's how well the car was doing on Turo. So my game plan was to rent the car for half the month, and whenever it covered itself, then I could drive it, because I had a Challenger still. Shout out to my parents, right? But this is what I'm saying. They set me up, but I'm enhancing this shit. That's called not shitting on your blessings. Not shitting on your blessing. That's called thinking about what resources you have, right? So I know the Turo game be logical for me. I can rent the Kia out and drive the Challenger or whatever, right? So I started doing that. I think at the first 3 months I made about $900 a month. So at this point I got assets everywhere. I got assets out my ass. But video getting long, so I'm gonna finish up with this so I can leave all to something else. I fucked it up. I still have all of my assets, but I got into credit card debt, right? I got into getting business credit cards, which are hella easy to get. That's another segment. I'll talk to you about how to create an LLC and how to get business funding. Businesses get funded at a way higher level than personal. And also, I will teach you how to get get all assets in your business name. That truck is not in my name. That truck is in One for All. That's how you do shit. See, established in 2020. Once your business has been established for several amount of years, you can easily get financed for shit like that if your personal credit score good. But I'm on top of the world, bro. I'm posting shit on Instagram. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great and shit. I'm getting a big head. I'm posting shit on Instagram for social gratification. I get a big head of social gratification. So I go get all these business credit cards just because I can. So I probably get about 20K in business credit cards. I start going on trips. I go to Houston, rent a Tesla, I think, for 5 days. That came out like a rack. Airbnb, that came out to like $400 for my Porsche. I went with my sister, love her, which is another Stella, but she owned it too. Got a wedding venue I'll bring home, and we'll talk about that too, right? But then in Houston, just because I'm feeling good, and just because, you know, I ended up buying 2 suits, which ran me about $1,200. So just on that trip alone now, I probably spent like 3 bands. Well, just a circle from the flight to the Tesla to the suits to the Enon shit to the Airbnb. Then but three months before that, and I don't regret traveling on these experiences. Like, I don't regret going to Houston, but I do regret renting that Tesla for that long, and I do regret buying those suits, and I do regret stretching myself too thin. I do regret going to Del Frisco's. Y'all been there? Boy, shit tax. Boy, got there one plate, $75. Portion it big. Another story. I'll talk about all that shit too. But cause I kind of want to keep that an hour. But all right. So 3 months before that, I actually went to California for my girlfriend. Me, my girlfriend, her sister, and her boyfriend. All great people. Shout out Sam, shout out Nord. I really fuck with them. We went to California. I don't even want to say it. That shit bust my ass. Either way, I ended up spending $2,500 up there in the weekend, basically. All costs, like flight, Airbnb, all that other shit, right? So over the span, and then her birthday in July. Jasmine, that's my girl, I love her to death. Over the span from July to October of that year, I probably spent like 6 bands. After I lost that 1,900. And that 1,900 just started to snowball down because I kept pressing to get back to 3 racks because my goal was to get to 10. But all that just fucked me up. So either way, with my chat no longer going on, with me going on all those trips, and with me performing poorly on the market, my income drastically. And now I come out of that, and then again, like, I still had money in my trading account. So the only savings that I had, this is another mistake, only savings I had was my trading account. At that time, my mindset was my savings is my trading account, which you never supposed to do that, ever. And I'm gonna talk about that shit too, because you put too much pressure on yourself. But so that is my savings account. So these whole 6 bands shit I'm telling y'all, all these trips, I'm spending a credit card, swiping that motherfucker, right? On consumer. So the biggest thing about credit cards is use credit cards to float. Meaning, like, if you need some shit now, pay it off before the date, before it reports. Why? So you won't get caught up paying no interest. And then they keep boosting your credit card limit. But that takes maturity. I have a whole segment about that. That's how you leverage your money. Leverage your money. Leverage. Okay? So long story short, oh yeah, another thing. So I had an apartment, right? And I'm telling y'all this shit because you see how I was here at one point, right? And then I'm starting to bust. Boom, bust. Right? So this is what happened. The apartment me and my home was staying in, it's an apartment now. Ended up, we kept having these roach problems, bro. And we know it's not us because I just previously told y'all, the house stayed bare. Like, only thing we really did was sleep, and we was working like dogs. Like, at Truly, you had unlimited overtime. Shout out Kim Rivers. Because you really made me get on my shit and work for myself. Shout out Kim Rivers, because that shit was horrible. But, either way, yeah, so the place was clean. So, it really wasn't no reason why roach should have been in there, right? Turns out the apartment above us was roach infested. Landlord telling us they coming to spraying up there and it's leading down to our shit. They spraying our shit. So either way, it got so bad to where every time we booked the place, every guest would say it was stellar clean, but we found roaches in the kitchen, roaches in the drawers. Fucked our business up. So we had to stop doing that. So now you see how it is. The chat 500 a month gone, poop. Lost 1900 market, poop. Then no longer can rent the crib, rent the apartment, so lost that 8, poop. Then on top of all that, I'm still living like the man because I'm posting this shit on Instagram for y'all ass. Not posting it to be a public library. I'm posting this shit for social confirmation. So I'm taking these trips, getting further and further in debt. Those decisions I made then, I'm still in debt now, right now to this day because of that. And now with all this shit about inflation, it's getting worse. Interest rate going up. All right, so that's my spiel. Those are my 3 assets, and those are less. And that's a brief overview on how I acquired them. I'm sitting at this truck stop, waiting on me to. I just did this because the load boy kind of slow right now, and I told my friend I was gonna do this shit. That's another one of my focus for this year. Do it, fucking do it. What the fuck you in for? I pulled this damn phone out, popped this bitch up on my laptop, and I'm just sitting out here, killing time, waiting to try to find another load. But y'all can follow me on Instagram at JustinWalker22. That's my personal. That's why I post a lot of like the truck journey. I'm not even gonna make a page for it. I'm not, cause I just want y'all to follow the lifestyle. It ain't really like I'm saying. I ain't really trying to, you know, I got other ways to promote the truck. I ain't really trying to make a platform for that. But I also my other Instagram profile that I am, you know, kind of pushing because it's more of a content, more of a public library, is one for all _wealth. I'll put that down there too eventually. So, but that's me, man. If y'all want to come along for the journey, tap in. I know at first nobody know me, so I mean we'll see if you want to listen. But I promise, bro, like I be doing some shit. Like I didn't been in so many situations that people want to know about, and I'm an open book, bro, and I'm gonna tell you it's transparent. And the reason I wanted to start now because I'm not gone yet. I'm not too far gone at all. Like I'm on the same level really as anybody who just started. Now I done got the assets, so I guess I'm not on the same level. But basically, I'm trying to say I didn't start much capital, and I'm not too far gone. So that's why I want to make this video now because it's much easier to imagine yourself doing something when a person close to you is like kind of in your same tax bracket, you know, so it's relatable, so you know it's possible. But peace out, y'all. Post first video. I did introduction part 1, so when that was only like four minutes long. Somebody called me and the video got cut, so I'm gonna post that as part 1 introduction, which is short. And then this is part 2. So if you end up watching this and in the very beginning you like, what is he just started talking? Go back and watch part 1. It's only 3-4 minutes long. I'm gonna try to merge them, but if I don't, and I'm not starting over because this shit was authentic and I kind of like the pace of it. So we'll see. Shout out to y'all. Tune in again, man.